Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today you're going to be watching me do a smoky eye. Why did that sound so weird? So I'm going to be recreating a look that I did a few weeks ago. I went to this little fashion show in Fashion Valley and a lot of you seem to love that matte smoky eye, so I'm going to be recreating that look today. But first, we're going to get started with our face makeup, our base. The first thing I'm going to do is prime my face, and for that I'm going to be using the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. I know a lot of you have been asking me for a review. It's coming soon. It's coming real soon, and as you can tell I have been using it quite a bit. So I'm going to prime my face using this lovely stick right here. So this product is actually very similar to the Estee Edit Blur Stick. I don't even know what it's called anymore. It's very similar, but you do get a lot more product in this Milk Makeup one. So I'm just going to swipe it, and I like applying it pretty much everywhere because it does help the foundation just glide on smoother and last a little bit longer. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I have used this before in my channel. I had kind of mixed opinions, but now that I've tried it with different primers and just different ways of setting it and all that stuff, I do actually enjoy this foundation. I'm not crazy about it, but it's definitely a good one from the drugstore. So I use the shade Porcelain, which is a fair foundation with a warm undertone. The undertone it's perfect. It's really nice, especially for us really light-skinned girls who normally find a lot of light foundations to be very cool tone, very pink. This one is perfect and it's super affordable. The only thing I'm going to do to apply this foundation is just buff it into the skin. I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush, so I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. No fancy techniques here. I'm just going to buff it in. I'm going to add little by little. I think last time it kind of went a little heavy-handed, and maybe that's another reason why I didn't enjoy it that much. Now that I'm done with foundation, I'm going to move on to a little bit of a color correcting concealer, and this product I've been absolutely obsessed with. It is from Bare Minerals. This is the Well Rested CC Eye Primer, and this is no ordinary color correcting concealer. It has cooling properties, much like the Milk Makeup Cool Water Stick or the Marc Jacobs the eyeshadow pencils. It's a very different color correcting concealer, and it kind of makes sense to have that cooling property, especially if you're going to be applying it underneath the eye area because it helps depuff that area. So right now, I don't know if you can notice, but the under eye area is looking a little bit dull. It's looking a little bit dull. Not like I don't have any, you know, purpley darkness, but it's just looking a little like like I need some rest. But I'm going to be using the Well Rested. The name is perfect. The name is perfect to just kind of brighten that area up. And I'm also going to be applying it a little bit on the dark acne spots that I can still sort of see them peek through the foundation. So you can immediately tell the difference between one eye and the other eye. So it's a yellow color correcting concealer, but the formula is just super cool. I do have to advise you have to work one eye at a time because it does dry. So it's basically a primer for your concealer. Now that we're done color correcting, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. This one's in Light Ivory, and I'm just going to go over a few areas and blend them out using the same brush. And to set it all, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Press Powder, and I'm using the shade Warm Light. Now this is a step you can fully ignore if you don't want to overcomplicate this makeup routine, but I did do a little bit of contouring using the Kevyn Aucoin contour powder in medium, and I'm also going to be using the number 24 brush from Neuzeth so I can get a very soft and diffused contour. So I'm just going to start from this area and go downwards just a little bit. So this brush is perfect if you don't want a very harsh and dramatic contour, so it'll give you a little bit of shape back to your face, which is exactly what I want, but it prevents you from having a heavy hand, which is really nice, especially for someone who's just getting started with makeup or, you know, doesn't have as much control with very pigmented products like this one from Kevyn Aucoin, because if you don't have a light hand, this can look muddy really quick. Now I'm going to bronze my face, and this is why I said you can skip the contouring, but I did contour and then bronze my face. And I'm going to be using a brand new product from Bare Minerals. This is the Invisible Bronze in the shade Fair to Light. It comes in 4 shades. You can pick from any that kind of corresponds to your skin tone. So there's Fair to Light, there's Medium, there's Tan, and Dark to Deep. So there's one for every single skin tone, but for my pale self, I love this one, and it doesn't go on to orange. It's just a very, I would say the name Invisible Bronze is very accurate because it almost doesn't look like you're wearing anything too powdery or too dry. It just gives you a veil of color that looks very natural. So I'm almost going to go over the contour just a little bit, but kind of placing it a little bit above the contour. And this is just going to warm my skin up just a little bit. I normally am not a huge fan of bronzers just because on my very fair skin they look very orange and unnatural, but this one looks incredibly natural, and I don't know if you can tell the difference from one half of the face to the other, but it just adds a little bit more dimension, and it gives me a little bit of color. I've learned to embrace a little bit of color, which is completely new to me because normally I'm just a blush type of girl. Maybe I'll add a little bit of highlighter, but that would be it. But I'm learning to embrace bronzer, which is new to me. And I also like to apply a little bit on the jaw area. I didn't pick up any products, just whatever's on the brush, and I like to hold my brush in a very light-handed way. I don't like to add too much color right here. For blush, I'm going to grab the Charlotte Tilbury Chic to Chic blush in the shade Ecstasy, and I'm only going to swish it. So I'm going to grab the lighter pink, tap off the excess, and I'm going to apply it right over here. Since I'm going to be doing such a heavy smoky eye, I just don't want to distract from it. So I'm going to add a little bit of color, but I don't want anything too crazy. And if you go a little bit heavy-handed, you could just grab your powder brush and just kind of tone the color down. And now for highlight, I'm going to be using another Bare Minerals product. This once again is a brand new product. This is the Invisible Glow, which is the highlighter. So once again, there's 4 shades. This one is Fair to Light, there's Medium, Tan, and Dark to Deep. But this one is my personal favorite because it is such a beautiful, I would say kind of like a champagne highlight. It doesn't look overly metallic. It just gives you that really healthy, radiant glow without looking glittery or thick or chunky. So it's a very nice formula. And I'm not saying this because I work at a Bare Minerals boutique. I'm saying this because the formula is actually really nice. I really have been enjoying this. I've used it pretty much every single day in March. That's how obsessed I am, and with these products they work the best with a synthetic brush. So I'm using the Real Techniques setting brush, which is very tiny, perfect for highlighting, and I'm just going to apply it right over here. You can pick up a little bit more. If you do want to intensify this highlighter, all you have to do is wet the brush with setting spray or a little bit of like rose water or something like that, and that will make it pop a little bit more. But I like the subtle glow that this gives me. I hope it's visible on camera because in real life it looks very glowy, but in a beautiful a natural way. Now let's start with the eyes. Finally, let's start with the eyes. The first thing, primer, and I've been loving the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. So you can tell I've been loving Wet n Wild, but this primer, I think it's definitely the best drugstore eyeshadow primer that I've tried. I have really oily eyelids and this has been working really well for me, so I'm going to be using it once again in this tutorial. For today's look, I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour palette. This is one of my favorite palettes. I feel like it's something that everyone needs in their collection. These are all the neutrals you'll ever need, all of them. And as you can tell, it's been well loved. But there's just so much product in there that I haven't hit pan on any of the shades. So I'm going to be using eyeshadows from just this one palette. I'm going to start applying this shade up here, so it's the light kind of pale yellow shade. Just pick any shade that's close to your skin tone color. And I'm going to apply this shade all over the eyelid. This will help all the blending that we're going to be doing in just a little bit. So what I'm going to do for this smoky eye is do kind of a gradient type of effect, but using brown eyeshadow. So I'm going to get started with this, then I'm going to just keep going little by little. I'm going to get started with this one in the inner corner. Then I'm going to grab this color right here. And the only thing that I'm doing is just patting the color onto the lid. So little by little I'm building that intensity, and I am kind of overlapping it a little with the first color just so it blends nicer. Now I'm gonna go in with this one right here. I'm going to take this warmer brown and finally I'm going to take a combination of these two dark browns. I'm going to start lightly blending out the colors, and then I'm going to add another color to kind of blend things a little bit better. Now I'm just going to make everything just a little bit more intense because I did lose a little bit of the intensity when I was blending out. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of this, mix it in with this, and this is what's going to go on our crease. And when you're applying color to the crease, at least for this look, I like looking down on a mirror. I find that it just helps blend it out a little bit easier without actually getting any of the color that's on the lid. And then you can look forward straight on to see if they look even or if they don't. Now using the same white brush, I'm going to take the same color that I started off with, so this pale yellow, and I'm going to be using it almost like an eraser. So I'm going to place it right over here and just blend out the edges a little bit more. Now for the lower lash line area, I'm actually just going to go in with two colors. I'm going to take a mixture of this warm brown and mix it with this one. Now I'm going to tightline and waterline using the Bare Minerals Round the Clock liner in APM, which is a very dark, almost like a black brown type of color. Now I'm going to curl my lashes and apply 2 coats of mascara. I'm using the Pacifica Dream Big mascara. If you want, you can apply falsies. I'm just not going to bother with them. Now I'm lightly filling in my brows using the Milk Makeup Gel Brow Pencil. And when I say lightly, I mean it. I am just going very, very lightly on the areas where there's a little bit of gaps, not that much, but I just want it to look very even. And then I'm going to brush the hairs upwards. For the lips, I don't want to do anything too crazy because basically I don't want to distract from the eye makeup, so I'm going to be doing a nude lip. And first I'm going to line them using the Bite Beauty lip pencil in the shade 20, and I'm going to fill it in using the YSL Rouge Volupté in the shade number 3. And that's pretty much it for this matte gradient smoky eye. To be honest, this look is quite easy. It doesn't require much effort or skill at all. All you have to do is just place those colors on your lid little by little, and then you'll have a gradient smoky eye in no time. I just took forever to explain everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you did in the comments below, and if you have any tutorial requests, please let me know in the comments below. I love talking to you guys in the comments. It's my favorite thing to do. So let me know in the comments, let's chat, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. If you're brand new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe by clicking on my face, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye! The other product from Kat Von D that I've been absolutely loving is the Lock It Concealer. This, I was going back and forth whether I should buy it or not. I've heard mixed reviews, but I decided